fall has officially fallen, people. Unlike pumpkin spice lattes, Xbox excellence is an all-year-round thing. So we're talking major discounts on massive games, starting with a few of 2020's biggest titles. This video is brought to you by DC's upcoming movie, Black Adam.
This year, we saw the Saints Row series return to its roots with a reboot that eschews the superpower and alien invasions to focus on what really matters here, folks. Gang warfare, baby. Set in the sunny climate of Santo Ileso, the new game looks pretty stunning, especially if you're playing on an Xbox Series X, where there are a whopping 5 different graphic modes to pick from. And of course, that customizability extends to the game too, where you can deck your aspiring crime boss out in all sorts of elaborate outfits. As you battle for control over this new turf, you'll get to take part in thrilling shootouts, do-or-die chases, and daring rescues, as well as the slightly less glamorous sort of criminal enterprises like insurance fraud and food truck theft. Fortunately, with the Platinum Edition of Saints Row now 20% off, you shouldn't have to resort to such desperate measures to afford it. Probably, hopefully.
Borderlands fans are going to be well served in 2022 with the return of the story-driven Tales from the Borderlands series right round the corner. But if you want an all-action Borderlands experience, then there's one guaranteed way to make that happen. Put Tiny Tina in charge. Wonderlands takes place entirely inside the confines of a tabletop adventure that Tina is running with her usual bombastic flair and somewhat questionable grasp on reality. To take part in it, you'll get to draw up your very own character and outfit them with all sorts of mystical powers, plus a whole lot of firepower. This is still a Borderlands game after all. And then for all the magical shenanigans, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands also lets you really get to know the folks rolling those 20-sided dice, with DLC additions like the most recent Shattering Spectre Glass delving into each character's past. Perhaps the only game that could plumb those emotional depths while also including a character called Butt Stallion. Tiny Tina's Wonderland is now 33% off.
Whether you're looking after baby Yodas or learning more about a guy named Andor, Star Wars never seems to go out of style, and so we've got another almighty adaptation early this year with LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. This latest venture into the plasticky galaxy far, far away takes everything we loved about the franchise and dials it up a fair whack. The combat's more immersive, with combo-based melee moves and over-the-shoulder shooting. The characters are more distinct, with a class-based system for unlocking more abilities, and there are, of course, 9 whole movies worth of planets to explore, Siths to slay, and Ewoks to admire. Not only does the LEGO Star Wars Skywalker Saga look absolutely amazing, if you don't mind me saying, running at a slick 60 frames per second on an Xbox Series S and X, but it's now also 30% off too.
Batman Arkham Knight is the 3rd game in the Arkham series, so here are 3 reasons to pick it up this week. 1. No superhero thrives during spooky season the way Batman does. 2. It's the perfect game to play while we wait for Gotham Knights to drop at the end of this month. You know, you can play as Batman now and you'll miss him all the more when he's gone. 3. It's a really fun action game where, in case I hadn't mentioned this, you get to play as Batman. You get to drive Batmobile and even throw batarangs. You know, all the lovely good bat stuff. And if this 3-pronged bat attack hasn't somehow swayed you, I'll also point out that Batman Arkham Knight is available on Xbox Game Pass and is 67% off this week.
Here's another title, Sam, that's both perfect for serving up some Halloween vibes and for getting you excited for an upcoming release. I am, of course, talking about Blood Bowl 2. If American football and Warhammer had a baby, then it would be an unholy abomination, and that abomination's name would be Blood Bowl. Take to a field filled with elves, orcs, dwarves, and other fantastical folk, and try to lead your team to glory. Or, at least, see if you can get most of them back off the field in just one piece. Blood Bowl 3 is still scheduled for release sometime in the near future though, folks, but in the meantime, you can hone your skills out in the world's most gruesome gridiron with the legendary edition of Blood Bowl 2, now 75% off.
Sticking with the season and keeping things bloody, the deluxe edition of Back 4 Blood is also on sale this week. It's also available on Xbox and PC Game Pass, and Back 4 Blood is a co-op shooter in the mould of Left 4 Dead, where you and your buddies try to survive in the face of a vicious zombie horde. It's the perfect game, trust me, for a Halloween session with your friends, and a great way to find out who you can count on when the real zombie apocalypse occurs. I think Benny might sell me to the zombies, actually thinking about it now. Anyway, the deluxe edition comes with an annual pass that also gives you access to added content like the most recent story expansion, The Children of the Worm. So if you want to see whether the Worm kids are alright, pick up Back 4 Blood now for 60% off.
And that's not the only slice of monster slaying action we've got this week, with Hunt Showdown also in the mix. This ingenious shooter forces you to play as both predator and prey as you wade into the Louisiana swamp in search of your monstrous bounty. Should you manage to take down one of the game's horrifying monsters, and that is a very big should by the way, then you still have to make it to the extraction point with your bounty to claim your reward. The only problem is that all the other players can now see where you are, and they might just fancy that bounty for themselves. It's the sort of game that asks you who the real monster is. Is it the hideous creatures you've been tasked with tracking down? Or no, they definitely are the real monsters. Sorry, that was a stupid line of questioning. Hunt Showdown is now 75% off, so you're gonna make a killing one way or another.
Street Fighter and Tekken might be teasing arcade fighter fans with the promise of a new entry, but when the nights are drawing in and the pumpkins are out, Mortal Kombat has to be your weapon of choice. And that's not only to pay your respects to the most brutal fighter in town this week. The 8th of October will see Mortal Kombat celebrating 30 years of decapitations, disembowelments, and all those other fancy D words that help a game about two people punching each other earn an 18 age rating. So, if you want to spend the day respectfully committing acts of heinous violence, grab Mortal Kombat 11 for 70% off, or snag it from Xbox or PC Game Pass.
While we wouldn't want to distract from Mortal Kombat's big day, it's actually not the only major series with a big birthday coming up. The Fallout series is turning a staggering 25, and they've got a whole sale lined up to celebrate. That sale includes the latest mainline game in the series, Fallout 4, another classic Bethesda RPG where the world is your oyster. An oyster filled with deadly radiation, murderous bandits, deadly mutants and stuff, but still an oyster nonetheless. Fallout 4 is now 75% off, and you'll find it as well as the likes of Fallout 76 and New Vegas on Xbox Game Pass, and in this week's Fallout Anniversary sale. Sort of like that thing hobbits do on their birthdays where they buy everyone else a present. Speaking of which, Sam.
If you've been enjoying returning to Middle-earth with the new TV series, then you might fancy heading there yourself to swing a sword or sing a few dwarf songs. Although admittedly, Shadow of War provides more opportunities to do one than the other, being perfectly honest with you. Playing as a ranger named Talion and the elvish ghost that shares his body, it's a long story, your job is to raise an army capable of taking on Sauron before he gets any more ideas about world domination. But if you want to get a shot at the big guy, you'll need to work your way up through the various evil managers and shift supervisors that he employs, all of whom are pretty mean, just like the real deal. Anyway, the great thing about Shadow of War is the way that it blends action with strategy. It's letting you take on the command of the big picture and command your army while also dishing out some pain on the battlefield yourself. If that mixture of brains and brawn appeal to you, Middle-earth Shadow of War is available via Xbox and PC Game Pass, and it's now also 70% off.
So whether you're celebrating a long-running franchise, waiting for the next big entry in a beloved series, or checking out something completely new, this week's sale has got you massively covered. This video is brought to you by DC's Black Adam starring Dwayne Johnson, who brings this anti-hero to the big screen. Fueled by rage and such immense power that he has two choices to either destroy the world or save it. Find out what he'll decide only in theatres on October 21st, rated PG-13. And hit the comments to let us know which game you'll be falling into this fall, and don't forget to like and subscribe on your way out. Bye-bye!
Black Adam.
We're here to negotiate your peaceful surrender.
I'm not peaceful. Nor do I surrender.
It's his darkness that lets him do what heroes cannot.
The battle you're meant to fight is upon us. There's no one on this planet that can stop me.
Black Adam, rated PG-13, October 21st.